And hi there, everyone. Happy Saturday. It is Kim at the Rhythmia Life Advancement Center. I'm here today with Michael. I'm honored to be here with Michael. He said a resounding yes and came in the door with me. So I'm very, very grateful for your yes. And Michael is here with his wife. And his wife has been here before and then brought Michael back this time. They're from New York and he has things to talk to you about. So I appreciate that you're jumping in and joining us today on Facebook Live. So sit back, enjoy our wonderful time together. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Good, good, good. So tell me, a week ago when I first saw you, what was your intention then to come to Rhythmia? What did you aim for coming to Rhythmia? What was that?
Well, again, my wife was here last year the same week, and she had such an amazing experience that she wanted to have me come along this year
Okay, I
together.
didn't know it was the exact same week.
The exact same week,
Was
1 year
there
later.
meaning for that to her that I want to come back on this week, or it's just happened that way?
It just happened that way, and I teach at a university, and so the summer is a good time for me to get away.
Got
If
it.
there is a good time, and it's also a good time for her. So before September hits and I get back to full swing in
Yeah,
terms of teaching and the university requirements, responsibilities, it's a good time of the year.
good. So now you came. Did you have
Mhm.
any? It's somewhat of an idea because you saw the changes in her in the last year. Is that correct?
Right, and I really didn't have. Well, I did have some specific reasons why I wanted to come here, but it was more of a generalized. I wanted to live better,
Mm.
feel better. I've always had a feeling like I get to the end of every day and I didn't finish what I had set out to do, and a feeling like I never quite catch up with what I need to get done from day to day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a tough way to go to sleep every night instead of looking at it from the opposite, where I did get quite a few things done and being more grateful and having more gratitude for what I was able to get done. And so I've kind of
Mm.
come away from this week feeling a little less pessimistic about life and about what I am accomplishing, because again, I do accomplish every day,
Yeah,
but I want to put more intention on that, the positives
I
of what
love
I am
that. I
getting
want to
done.
put more. You said intention, not even attention. Did you notice that?
I didn't.
Oh, you did. I love it. Go. I want to put more intention on that.
Okay.
So, and that's going to change everything, right? To move from the mindset of what I haven't finished and completed in my life each day to, oh, let me look at what I have. Completely different mindset. So would you tell us about your week here? Tell us what you loved. Tell us how you feel about the week. Did you feel the flow was doable for you? How do you feel, Michael?
My week, and I did have a little background with having Valentina be here last year,
Mm-hmm.
and she shared a lot of what she had experienced, which a little apprehension because of um, the absolute magnitude of the emotional piece, which I
Yeah.
certainly felt, um, but also excitement because I saw the changes in her that have
Mm-hmm.
continued even till today.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm looking forward to, is going home
Mm.
now and implementing some of the feelings that I have now on a day-to-day basis.
And how does that feel? Does that feel completely doable? Where do you stand with that? Like, oof, I'm going to go home and live this.
I tend to not have a straight answer on things
Mm.
when it comes to big questions like that. And I
Mm.
literally just woke up about 15 minutes ago after having a very restful nap this afternoon.
Okay, I love that you still, even after you wake up, walked right in here.
Hmm.
Okay, so can I ask you a different way? From what we discussed, what will you implement when you get home to live what you now know? Do you know what practices you'll implement?
I feel like there's so many things that I'd like to implement, but I'd like to focus on a few core things, and that's
Yeah.
what we talked about in your class.
Yeah.
And your class, as well as everybody else, all the other instructors here, were just amazing,
Mm.
but personable and humorous, and it was easy. And I just really wanted to get to every class. I didn't want to miss anything because of how every class went.
Mm.
But as we talked about in the class, and sort of segueing from what I spoke about just a minute ago, I want to look at things more optimistically.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been told in the past that I tend to focus on the things that need attention or intention,
Mhm.
or things that need fixing.
Right.
Because I like to fix things.
Mhm.
And so I might be in a room and I look at things that need to be addressed.
Mhm.
Something might need to be cleaned,
Mhm.
or some outside in terms of landscaping, something might need to be trimmed. So I'd like to go home and look at things more positively and appreciate things that don't need to be fixed,
Mm.
just for the sheer beauty of looking at trees, and butterflies here are amazing,
Mhm.
and just enjoying things for what they are,
I
without
love
always
that.
looking at things that might need my attention, or my perceived attention.
And that's going to shift your quality of life.
I would think so.
Yes.
And this week has shown me that,
Oh,
because I've already started to respond with my words differently. I'm certainly not
love
perfect
words.
at it yet,
Love
and it's going to take
words.
practice,
Uh-huh.
but I've already implemented what we talked about, what you recommended, which is to pause before I speak
Mhm.
and mindfully think about the words that I'm choosing
Mm.
and how they may affect other people around me. Not always is humor a good thing or appropriate at certain times, as well as how they can affect somebody else.
That was profound when you talked about that. Can we talk about that a little more right now?
I tend to use humor when I'm scared, when I'm happy, when I'm trying to make somebody feel more comfortable and relaxed in a tense situation. But I teach at a university, and I run an allied health sciences department
Mhm.
of about close to 30 faculty and about
Mm.
450 students.
Wow.
And I'm in meetings a lot. And I tend to try to inject humor where possible, just to lighten the mood and sort of keep people connected, and to diffuse things when students are having an issue or faculty are having difficulties. But I found that in some meetings, it's just not appropriate to always use humor, and that there's a lot of people that have trauma from the past.
Mm.
And even though something might be funny to 90% of the room,
Mhm.
there may be one or two people that have had some type of a trauma that it triggers them. So it's caused me to be more mindful, to back off on some of the humor.
So appreciate that, because not very many people talk about that. The different things that we all take on in a moment where we could be scared or nervous or upset, that we add different things. Whether some people get quiet, some people add humor, some people get bigger, some people, just leave. And to know, wait, I could stand here, take a pause, and really consider everything you just said before I speak. Is it going to change everything in the faculty, for your students? It has a ripple effect to change the lives of so many people, because you're bringing more of yourself to every conversation.
And I remember Wayne
Beautiful.
Dyer once
Mhm.
said, I attended a live conference in Maui with him.
Mhm.
Phenomenal conference.
Yes.
And he mentioned about responding. Is it true? Is it kind? And I believe, is it helpful?
Yeah.
And that stuck with me. I actually got to swim with him one night after one of the nights at the conference. And I'm out swimming in the ocean with Wayne Dyer.
Yeah.
And it
He's
was
an amazing
it was
soul.
amazing as the
Yeah.
sun was going down.
Yeah. He's a
And
brilliant teacher.
he was great.
Very
Listen.
good. Beautiful. Me too. Me too. What other elements of Rhythmia did you love? The classes. I love that you said it was easy to get there. I love hearing that, even when you were tired.
Mhm.
How did you feel about the breath work, and how do you feel about the spa? All those other elements as well. Tell us.
I can't say enough about everything here.
Mm.
I didn't have a bad experience, unless you count the drinking of ayahuasca itself, especially when you have one dose on top of another dose.
Right.
The feeling caused some nausea
Mhm.
that was pretty severe at
Sure.
times, earlier in the week,
Mhm.
mostly. And it actually caused a good effect in terms of purging.
Mhm.
And I believe that cleared the way for a lot of better days towards the latter part of the week.
Okay, I want to make sure everybody catches that, because you're acknowledging that, yeah, that wasn't comfortable, yet
Mhm.
your willingness to still grow through it brought openings later in the week. So often in life, if we look at things that seem difficult, or this is uncomfortable, and we back away instead of going, okay, I'm just still going through it because I want that.
Mhm.
You wanted to feel some of the things that your wife has in the last year.
Correct.
Lovely.
It reminded me of working out, having a really intense workout.
Yeah.
I might not be enjoying it at the time, and I'm struggling and I'm putting my all into it because I know coming out the other side, I'm going to feel amazing afterwards and be grateful for having pushed myself.
Yes.
And it got me to a higher place
And that's what happened to you this week.
every day.
Every day.
Every day, even if it was a night that I struggled.
Mhm.
I had half the nights or so were restful. I
Mm.
was able to actually take the ayahuasca and go back and lay down and relax. In some cases, I fell asleep at times, which now I understand that the healing was also happening,
Sure.
even though I may be sleeping.
Yes, it's always happening. Once you, even before you arrive here, it's happening. So many people say that the second they sign up for Rhythmia, everything starts to shift and adjust in their life to prepare them for this week. Besides, tell me about breathwork. I want to know what you thought about your breathwork classes, especially after ceremony, 4 nights of it.
Breathwork initially, I believe that was the first night we were here.
Sure was.
I was overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I was just overwhelmed that I was overwhelmed and thinking that I can't imagine what's coming next. If this is just a warm up, the breath work, I was feeling emotions coming from deep inside my chest. I cried almost the entire time during the breath work. I thought I was going to pass out during the breath work because it was so heavy in terms of the quickness of the breathing. And I was just really, it jump started the whole rest of the week.
Yeah. And then how about at the end of the week? Did you notice a difference in last night?
I did, but it was more restful at the end. And I was sort of expecting, and I was trying to not have expectations necessarily because I wanted to see where this would take me.
Yes.
And it did bring up some crying again and some deep emotional, but it felt like a release. Like it was hard to tell if it was sadness or excitement. I loved all the people here. Certainly the people working here were amazing, but also I was just thinking about coming back again and what that would look like. And I can't imagine doing this with a whole new group of people because everybody here is all sort of here for the same basic idea.
Yes. Yes.
And everybody here was supportive of each other. And over the course of the week, we all really grew together. And I love everybody that I've got to meet.
Yes. Here. Isn't that amazing?
So much. And I'm going to miss them.
And I have to tell you, when you come back, you're going to recreate that again. That I've had the honor of observing and watching people truly fall in love with each other because you're here to grow together. And when we grow through difficult things together, it just creates an understanding of a compassionate bond. Right.
And to be here with my wife, of all people, and she mentioned this last year too, that she had to come home on her own and she missed me. And this week, one of the ceremonies she was not able to attend, and she had to go to a different ceremony. And I remember telling quite a few people that night, and that was the long one. That was almost 15 hours or so, which went till the next morning. I kept mentioning how much I missed her. And I truly did. It felt so strange not to have her there, even though during ceremonies, since we're married, they recommended that we stay on opposite sides of the building. But it was just nice to know that she was just over there. Yeah. Even though I also trusted everybody working here.
Yes.
And so did she, that they would take care of me and they would take care of her. So it allowed me to relax and really start looking at myself because I have a son and daughter. Son is 25 and daughter turns 20 in a few weeks. And she has 2 more years left in school. So her being away at school the past 2 years allowed me to stop and sort of, hey, I don't have anybody else that really needs my attention as much. And it was a pleasant surprise to be able to start looking at some things I could do for myself, more for my own nutritional health, my exercise health. I enjoy running, so I picked that up again. And really start looking at me. It sounds selfish, but I've had people really recommend that, what about you?
Beautiful.
You really enjoy helping other people, and teaching was certainly a calling that was part of that. I really enjoy seeing my students be successful and thrive and have a career at the end of their schooling, and then stay in touch with me over all these years. I have students now, graduates from the 90s,
Oh my goodness.
that now not only have children, but now I've seen a few of them having their children or having children,
Wow.
which makes me feel like I've been around quite a bit. But it's strange to see people that I used to look at them as
Students.
students
Mhm.
or teenagers in some
Mhm.
cases, 18 to 20,
Right.
that now have their own kids having kids,
Mhm.
and they've all become mature adults.
And I would imagine that your light, even now in interaction with them, is going to bring a different vibration because you're
Yes.
more authentically present as you, is what I'm understanding.
And I teach ultrasound physics.
That's
My
just,
background
that
is
sounds
physics.
huge right there. I'm like, wait a second, ultrasound physics.
It does, but if you've ever had an ultrasound of your heart,
Yes.
or my background was heavy OBGYN.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see a lot of babies before they were
Yeah,
born.
that's when I had my ultrasound, was then.
And that was what I did for so many years.
Wow.
So I had the opportunity to help people, in a lot of cases women,
Yeah.
that were very distraught or were
Mm.
very struggling to try to become pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
or women that have had been pregnant and then lost the pregnancy
Mm.
in front of me or in
Yeah.
my presence. And in the beginning, I remember trying to use humor, and obviously that doesn't work in that situation
Sure.
because it's so hard. Or the other comment, and I've learned through trial and error and by messing up, by saying things like, you're young and you could have another one. And I realized soon after that's come out of my mouth that that's not the thing that really is comforting at somebody at that time. So just being there and connecting that way.
Correct. Just you
was
is
always
enough.
so hard. But that was my background.
Mm.
So getting back to the ultrasound physics, all that really is the understanding of how the sound waves travel. So you hold the little transducer that you've had, the sound comes out, it bounces off of different structures in the body, and based on the time it takes to come back, the machine's calibrated to know how deep the structures are. And so you get an image on the screen.
Okay, can I tell you something?
Mm-hmm.
I sense that is going to, the way you even teach or lead now is going to shift, because there's a whole nother dimension of sound waves that are beyond the physical, even with the machine.
Right. And a lot of people that write the textbooks for ultrasound physics, some of my mentors, when I was in school, they start getting into and it starts to get out there literally as far as the planets and how vibration.
Yes. We're all energetic beings.
Cycles and cyclical things.
Sure.
Everything is energy.
Yes.
And you understand that even this week, as far as cycles, I've been up, I've been down. And not that it's good or bad, up and down. It's just necessary.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was a really good sentence. I just had to take a breath right there. Good, up and down is not good or bad. It's just necessary. You know, I have to repeat a sentence when it's just like one that gets you, because that could carry us through Rhythmia, to know that, you know, I describe it as a roller coaster ride, the most intense roller coaster ride, but stay aboard. And you just said it so brilliantly. Like, we go up and down, doesn't have to be right or wrong. It's necessary for our own evolution. Michael, I'm so grateful that you are bringing the fullness of yourself back to everyone you work with, your relation. One more question, and then I'll wrap us up. How do you feel your relationship with your wife is going to even shift and grow now, knowing that you two came here together? Any thoughts on that?
It can only get better. And it's not that our relationship wasn't good before. It was fantastic. And I've had people tell us that they're jealous of, you know, how well we connect. She's fast, I'm slower. She's got a very strong personality, and I have a more reserved personality. I'm more the calm, she's more the excitement. So we balance each other in that way. And I've seen us both kind of rely on that in a lot of cases.
Beautiful.
Where I'm very good at calming down, and she's very good at motivating and that.
Well, I want to acknowledge you. And when I first met Michael, the first thing he said to me was, you put your arm around your wife and you said, I want you to know this is a wonderful, amazing, beautiful woman that has raised our, just everything was beautiful, what you said. And you were acknowledging her as I met you, which was great.
Which is what I typically do when I introduce my wife, because how could you not?
Good. Well done.
But it's funny you mentioned the roller coaster, because it's exactly what I just said in the final wrap-up session. I said that this felt like an emotional roller coaster, and to the point where I want to do it again already.
All right, everyone hear that? Emotional
So
roller
much.
coaster, and he's ready to do it again. So we would love you to come and join us here at Rhythmia. What would you say to someone who's right now going, oh my goodness, do I want to get on that roller coaster? What would you say to them?
I would say absolutely take the jump. And I initially was hesitant based upon the financial investment. And I would have to say, make the investment in yourself and you wouldn't regret it. It's been an amazing week. And like I said, I can't wait to come back.
You can't wait to come back.
Cannot wait.
Michael, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming with your beautiful wife. I can't wait to see you both here again soon. And thank you all for joining us this gorgeous Saturday. We welcome you to the Rhythmia Life Advancement Center. It's an expansive, beautiful, profoundly deep place of massive transformation with a lot of people to help you through it. So you will not be going through it alone. If you're ready to be just the highest version of you, come see us. We're right here. Have a beautiful day. Signing off for now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And saying thank you to our technology.